Welcome to the Restoration Pros Unplugged podcast. In each episode, we're going to bring you insightful interviews and discussions with top restoration industry leaders. We're also going to delve into their business, the strategies that made them successful, and most importantly, the valuable lessons they've learned along the way. I'm your host, Clinton James. I'm also the Chief Marketing Officer at Water Restoration Marketing. We're a digital marketing agency dedicated to helping restoration companies nationwide secure more high-value water jobs. Now, this show, it aims to provide you with the knowledge and tools you need to excel in the restoration industry. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. And welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Restoration Pros Unplugged podcast. I am your host, Clinton, from Water Restoration Marketing. Today, I'm joined by Raul Gonzalez. Raul is the owner of WonderBuilt Restoration and Construction out in Tucson, Arizona. How you doing today, Raul?
Doing great. Doing great. Thanks for asking.
Man, thanks for getting on the podcast. We've connected through webinar. You've listened to some of the content that we've put together for the Restoration Pros Unplugged podcast. I'm so glad to hear somebody in the restoration space listening to the content and getting some value out of it, right?
A lot of value that you're presenting, a lot of great speakers that you bring on board. It's an honor to be here today with you, sharing our experience.
Well, let's give the audience a little background on yourself and your business. So tell them, how did you actually get into restoration, Raul?
We by accident, like everybody. I was working at Enterprise Car Rental. One day, one of my clients comes and he's like, "Hey, I got an open job for you." It was in the insurance space. Turns out I became a property insurance adjuster. And then from there, I saw the trajectory in insurance claims. I didn't want to do that trajectory and basically climb up those ranks. I said I wanted an opportunity to be my boss, and here I am.
How long ago was that, Raul?
That was about 3.5 years ago.
All right.
Now.
So 3.5 years in restoration. Talk a little bit about the early days at WonderBuilt. What are some of the first really hard lessons you learned as a business owner?
It's not easy. So it seems, obviously I think everyone runs into this. It's like you start off really, really excited, and then you learn a lot of things that you thought were going to be easy and were not easy. And so for us, we ended up purchasing a carpet cleaning company that just didn't pan out. What we were sold didn't turn out to be what actually transpired. So we had to pivot, and luckily the van still helps us to this day with the extractions, and it's not a lost case, but we had to pivot quickly, and we went into the restoration space. That restoration space, hey, let's add the reconstructions items, and here we are.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about the transition, right? Going from working for a corporate company like Enterprise Rent-A-Car to owning your own home service business, first carpet cleaning, and then restoration and construction. Now in the restoration space, like, what part of the work do you connect the most with? Is it the technical side? Is it the service side? Is it the business building side?
It's the service side. It has to be the service side. I had a great experience with Enterprise Car Rental, a fantastic model for anyone coming out of college, and what they teach you is a couple of things. They taught us how to drive our business. You were responsible for making sure that your account or your branch was fully operational. Taught us about budgeting, making sure that we collected, making sure that our risk tolerance was there, making sure that we delivered exceptional customer service. So you learn that sometimes it wasn't about the little things, it was about the bigger picture, making sure that this customer was happy, so that translated into something in the future. So that's the same model that I go in terms of handling our customers. Hey, we may lose some money on this project, but overall, we want to make sure that every customer is taken care of. So in the future, we are delivering an exceptional experience that they can then become a promoter to somebody else, because you don't know who they know, and then eventually you don't know who's going to need help.
Now, Enterprise Rental Car is notorious for their onboarding, They hire recent college graduates like yourself. They fast track them into management roles. The lessons that you learned in providing that kind of white glove service to your customers, how do you take that same messaging and relay it to the project managers and the water techs and the people that you hire?
It starts it's a daily message for us. We have to every day have to instill, hey, it's all about the customer. Let's make sure that our customer experience is there. Making sure that we're taking the feedback when we don't do so great, you know. You drive customers based on Google reviews, and the when you get a not so great review, you have to address it with a team and making sure it's like, hey, this is why we didn't do so great on this project. Let's make sure we learn from this. Let's deliver. When we deliver well, let's make sure we capture those reviews so that other people can share with it. But it's a constant messaging from the top. It was like, hey, customer is our number one priority. Let's focus on our metrics at a later time, but let's focus that the customer service experience is great.
I love that. Now, been in business for 3 years. Talk about the size of your team and the scope of
Mhm.
your business, right? So, how many team members do you have? How many service vehicles? And are you guys mitigation, contents, rebuild? What exactly do you guys offer?
We offer full service, which is it's been pretty hard to do. So it's a lot of it has to do with scaling. So we've gotten to a team right now of 12 people plus some additional hires, like some temporary hires here and
Yeah.
there. We have in-house crews plus subcontractors that we deal with when we start scaling like some of the bigger jobs, smaller jobs, we kind of operate so we don't have as much overhead. We are here for fast growth and a fast transition. So um, our service vehicles are two-man teams, and then from there we get additional help. And part of our metrics is scale. How do we scale faster? Because we have to have a certain amount of overhead costs in the industry to support what we need to provide a better service.
Understood.
We have to provide the technology, like the Xactimates, the docu-sketches, the LiveSwitch. We have to provide those services, but that comes with an overhead cost. That means we have to hit scales at a relatively fast pace
Hmm.
in order to be profitable as a business. So right now, our goal is excellent customer service with fast accelerated growth, which leads to those stressors in your business, cash flow, finding the right people,
All right.
probably dropping the ball here and there.
Well, we're gonna talk a little about the pain points, but first let's talk about what's
Yes.
working for the business, right? So
Yes.
from a marketing standpoint, you're focused on accelerated growth. So tell me
Yes.
what's working for you right now from a marketing standpoint? Like what channels, what strategies are bringing in the most reliable jobs?
So we have a multifaceted approach to this. So
Okay.
we are taking BDMs. So we have two or BDMs, BDRs, whatever you may call them. We have two individuals out in the markets. One of them is focusing on strictly on insurance agents, and then some property management. And our secondary is working on those facility commercial larger accounts that take a little bit longer to develop. So I understand that that may not turn over work quickly now, but in the long run for accelerated growth, that's what we need to do.
Okay.
The second channel is Google and online marketing. We've gone ahead and revamped our entire name from top to bottom. So we've making sure that our customer service experience in the Google or customer facing is exceptional. So what it looks like online is make sure that it's continuous throughout our entire business. Means that our trucks look good, our website looks good, our team looks good. Anything that we deliver is good, and it's a great experience. And then finally, we do TPA work. So we want to make sure that we have some additional sources of income or access to those insurance referral jobs. And so we're not just dealing with one source of marketing or referral.
Okay. You and I talked after I hosted a website or a webinar with Chris Nordic, right, over at the
Yeah.
at Floodlight. Awesome guys, and we talked
Fantastic.
about some of the things, the challenges that you're having in terms of managing your metrics,
Yeah.
and from digital marketing specifically. So, talk a little bit about
Yes.
what's not working and what challenges that you're experiencing right now from a digital marketing standpoint, because you're spending the money, right? And it's just kind of
Yes.
identifying, is that actually getting me the good return?
The hard part is identifying how much is actually being returned by the how much is actually going spent as being spent. The spend is really easy to track because it just look at your credit card
Yeah.
statement and you, yeah, you know
Sure.
how much you spend. But the return has been a little bit more difficult as it you have to be able to audit the phone calls that are coming in. You have to be able to track the amount of revenue you capture per job. You also have to capture the calls that come in that you don't close,
Yeah.
and then you have to track the ones that you do close. So it's always a how much did you spend? How much did it cost you to get that job? How much did it cost you to book that job? And then you start going down these metrics, and we're in an accelerated putting fuel to the fire, and it just something's got to give.
Yeah.
We're just not tracking it. So
Attribution is super important if you're going to spend money on digital marketing. And while we don't work together now, Raul and I have had some conversations, because one of the things that aside from having the podcast, I've got a digital marketing agency, and that's one thing that we really, really want to focus on, right? Is making sure that if you're doing all of these things online, you need to track exactly where the calls are coming from, right? Which calls are leading to on-site visits and which on-site visits are leading to jobs. What other scaling issues are you kind of running into? Bottlenecks? Like, is it people? Is it operations, lead flow, estimating?
yeah, you're hitting every single one of them.
Okay.
So, like, it feels like, being here, you run into issues every single day, and I should change my title to chief firefighter. Um,
CFF. I like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So just putting out fires every day, but we have scaling issues like everybody else. So we run into issues with operations. Our team is learning how to handle multiple projects at one time, larger and larger as they're coming along. Our sales team is running into how do we handle higher level clients with those expectations? How do we handle those larger referral sources? And what's our limitation on like spend? Because after a while, a relationship starts to develop, they start to expect a little bit more,
Sure.
and then we're having issues operationally because now that our team is out producing, now we have to support them on the back end. Is the cash flow coming in? Are we going to have enough money in the next couple of weeks to support our team or to spend this or spend that? And so it's a constant, hey, what are we dealing with today kind of scenario.
Man, Raul, first of all, I appreciate you jumping on here, but I also appreciate the transparency, right? Because sometimes when I have guests that own restoration companies, everybody wants to talk about how great everything is. Everything's running smoothly, right? But we know when we actually peel the layers back of the business, every business has challenges. Your restoration business, my digital marketing agency, it's important to identify what those challenges are. But you've decided to not only identify what those challenges are, but you constantly are reinvesting in yourself as a business leader, going on webinars, listening to content, joining mastermind groups there. So, why is it so important for you to kind of surround yourself with people in the restoration industry that may have already experienced some of the challenges that you're having in growing the business?
I'm gonna put it super simply. I I may be one of the laziest entrepreneurs here, which is I don't want to create those mistakes, right? So if I can learn from what someone else did,
Hmm.
I can bypass it. Maybe
Oh,
there's somebody that on here that knows something that I'm gonna run into, and I can learn from them. Hey, maybe it didn't cost me $1 million to learn this lesson. So it's a part of it is frugality, part of it is being humble, part of it is living to our core value, which is we learn and grow together. And I mean, I could see your stack of books. My stack of books is right here. Like it's all about continuous learning, and I have to be willing to listen to people outside of the business as
mhm.
well as listen to those in the business because I'm a navigator of this ship, and there's other people rowing. Like I
Yeah.
have to Yeah.
None of that makes you lazy, Raul. It makes you smart, right? The fact that you want to learn from other people's mistakes instead of your own mistakes. Now, despite all of the challenges that you just talked about, you guys are absolutely crushing, and you're doing it in a market like Tucson. And for people in other parts of the country that just aren't aware of what a market in the middle of Arizona looks like, how competitive is the Tucson market, and what really differentiates it from other parts of the country that you listen to people talk that have restoration companies on the East Coast or the West Coast?
Yeah, man, I don't get as much rain or weather events as somebody may have, right? Florida continuously getting hit with hurricanes, or it's wet and tropical and you got mold everywhere. The Pacific Northwest is just raining all the time. It could freeze over, and you got freezing events and things breaking in there. Arizona's got great climate. Like it's hot and then it's hotter. So it you deal with, like, things that are getting a little bit older. You deal with, like, wear and tear issues. Like, last night we had a rain event, and so people are barely finding out that they have a leak in their roof. So we don't we don't have a lot of those weather events as some of the other parts of the country that you may have to rely on. We have to specifically focus on those things that are coming in or popping out. So it's a lot of it is staying top of mind with customers. It's a competitive environment like anywhere else. So we're just staying on top of mind, making sure we're there, making sure that we produce great quality work, and hopefully we can keep getting calls.
I love that. Now, you had listened to one of my recent podcasts with James
Yes.
Hatfield and the team over at LiveSwitch, and you're a
Yes.
guy that listens to it, you hears a cool idea, and you immediately took action. So talk a little bit about what you heard on the podcast, what you liked, and then your onboarding with their service.
Look, I'm a I I take on things, and if I think it's a great idea, we implement, we try it. If we crash and burn, well, okay, forget about it. Let's move on to the next thing. You came on and you did a podcast with LiveSwitch, which I thought was an interesting case scenario where they explained, hey, let's do a video call. Let's try to get to the problem before anybody else does. And so immediately what came to mind was my past experience. I was adjusting, and as an adjuster, they retroactively started to put you in to situations where you were doing inspections virtually.
Okay.
We were doing inspections on video calls. So in those inspections, hey, I figured out how to, hey, be more productive, hit metrics faster, and increase customer satisfaction with doing these virtual inspections, because you could be there instantly without having to wait 2, 3 weeks. Customers receive their money. Bosses praise me. Great. This is awesome. Well, when you put live switch into the business, or when we listen to the podcast, immediately triggered that emotional response or that past experience where, hey, we can use this specific software to eliminate the ones that you would call customers that you would call tire kickers, or
Mhm.
just looking for, hey, what's going on here, right? Like maybe 30% of the Google calls that we receive are customers saying, hey, I think I have mold, but I don't know. Can you
Right,
come out here?
right.
Right? And we're spending money on windshield time. I'm spending money on an estimator to go out there. I'm spending money on that Google call that just cost me money.
Mhm.
Like, it's all costing me money. So what can I do to shrink that? And what can I do to accelerate that customer experience? Because if you're first on site, hey, you're more than likely going to win that job. So
Sure.
how do we beat this? And as a business, we want to leverage technology to be faster than our competition and stand out. So yes, I took that opportunity, listened to your podcast on Wednesday, emailed the guys over at LiveSwitch. We were live by Friday, and then that Friday afternoon, I was using the software.
I like that you had such a good experience. I'm a real big fan of James and the team over at LiveSwitch. and you're talking about the onboard, like intake, right? So taking calls and be able to actually look on site before you even have a technician hit the ground there, right?
Mhm.
But you've got some other really interesting case studies, right? Some usage cases that you've had in a very short period of time, right? Let's talk a little bit about the first one, where it's kind of a remote oversight, right? You're really providing online training or on the fly training, excuse me, to somebody that you had. But this was not your traditional restoration job. This was an unattended, what is it? Unattended death cleanup, I think it was.
Yes,
Okay.
it's a biohazard cleanup, right?
Okay.
We do a lot of services for fire departments.
Okay.
We do a lot of services for fire departments, which includes someone unfortunately timely passing, and that when someone passes,
Sure.
releases bodily fluids. So in this particular case, I'm traveling. My other rep is on another inspection. I got a homeowner in distress. Like, what do we have going on? Well, we got a technician that's comfortable in these kind of situations. They're just not aware on how to navigate it. So,
Okay.
hey, let's jump on a call. Get there, call me when you're there, and let's provide some training. Hey, look here, please video this, please video that. Um, Walk me through this process, and we're having a conversation. So my rep and I are having a conversation. I'm in Los Angeles, they're on site. Great. I'm walking them through this process. So while walking them through the process, I'm also able to gather the information that I need to be able to start the billing process,
Right.
gathering photos, pointing at things, and getting this video. Now, not only am I walking them through this process, I only have to do it once.
Right.
The LiveSwitch records this entire thing, saves it, and now it's training piece for my next technician,
Um,
right?
yeah, that's a great use of technology. I know some restoration folks are like, well, I could have just done that with FaceTime. You can't do that with FaceTime. You're not going to capture the audio. You're not going to capture the video. You're not going to be able to go in there and provide the notes and then use that content that was just filmed, not just as a training exercise, but actual information that you could use to scope out that job.
Well, let me take it one step further, right? So you mentioned this, but the video does something that I don't think was emphasized greatly in that last podcast, which is
Mhm.
the AI technology integration.
We're going to talk about that. Get to it.
Yeah. Yeah. So let I'm gonna jump your case here. So the AI integration technology is absolutely fantastic. So what they ended up doing is they integrated an AI software or support. I would call it, right. I'm a restorer, not a technology expert here, but they integrated this AI software where they are able to analyze the data from the videos, the recording, and photos in a project. From that data, they can give you square footage of the room. They can give you what's damaged. They can give you like a project report of any any safety hazards or concerns by clicking a button. I had a price for this project by the time I was off the call with my technician.
Love that.
And for all those restorers out there, like when you're dealing with manpower and you're dealing with shortening the amount of time it takes you to respond, it's absolutely fantastic.
I want to talk about the AI because you have another use case specifically for the AI. But before, I don't want to miss a chance to talk a little bit about the remote supervision and training, right? Like
Yes,
how much confidence do you have now sending newer techs into specialty environments, knowing that hey, you're just a live switch call away?
absolute confidence. I mean, we go through a lot of training. It's part of our regiment. So we
Sure.
go through weekly trainings. It's part of it. But sometimes you're just not prepared for everything. So I can send a younger or more inexperienced technician into any sort of environment, walk them through it, capture that information, and the best part is I don't have to do it again.
Yeah.
I could say, "Hey, go check out this video, watch this video, get training. If you have questions, come back to me."
I love that. I love that. All right. So going back to the AI, you had one of your BDMs utilized the AI technology in a mold assessment recently. So talk a little bit about
Yes,
what that looked like.
that's great. So let's talk about commercial properties, right? So
Okay.
one of your podcasts was how do we get more commercial work? Commercial work is all about speed of service and cost. How fast can you do this for me? How cheap can you do it for me? So let's see how we can provide a competitive advantage with our competition by providing instant estimates and providing maybe one of our BDRs is not so acute to writing estimates.
Mhm.
Okay, I had them go in there, video the entire apartment, video the damaged areas, and upload it to LiveSwitch. Now, this is an early case scenario. So what I ended up doing is I went to ChatGPT and asked it, hey, these are we are using the AI assisted bot with LiveSwitch. Can you please write me a prompt where you write a scope of work? You look for water damage, discoloration. You look for any spots that may be considered mold. I want you to give me the square footage. I want you to put barriers up. I want you to do X equipment, and I want you to write this prompt. It wrote the prompt. ChatGPT wrote this prompt for me. I took it to LiveSwitch. I input it in the LiveSwitch, and then it all I had to do was now take the videos that they gave me, hit the report button, and it gave me a report
How
and a very, very, very accurate estimate as to
that was
like what it would cost.
that was literally going to be my next question. How close is it to like at a human actually going out there and estimating? Like how accurate are we talking about?
It like you're within a couple $100.
I love that. I love that. So you're utilizing the technology, you're saving time, you're able to put newer folks in the field that still might need a little additional seasoning to really get everything dialed in. Great experience for the property owner, right? Whether it's residential or commercial, they're blown away by your use of technology. You're saving money. Um, and it's a pretty small monthly investment for the money it's going to make you ultimately, and just saving time and being efficient.
Absolutely. It was, I mean, it would have cost me the amount that one use case would have cost me the same amount just to send one rep to give me all that information. So given that we've used it multiple times, it's already saving us tons of money.
I don't want this to turn into a live switch commercial, even though those guys are really good. And if you're
Yeah.
thinking, we'll make sure we put a link in the YouTube description or the podcast notes. Anybody that's interested, you can reach out to James and them. They'll get on the phone with you, have a conversation, and kind of walk you through the platform. But there was one additional use case regarding contents, like evaluation and job prep. Can you really quickly walk us through how you're using it for that?
This is okay. If if you absolutely could see this in person, it is mind blowing. So I was on the training with the team at LiveSwitch, and they said, "Hey, by the way, you can create your own reports and you can use this for contents." And if you don't if you don't know about contents, have never operated within the content space, it is the most labor intensive, longest, dreadful data entry thing that you've ever had to do.
Is
And it's just labor. It's just labor hours. And
we're
you're
talking about like box counts,
like box
salvageability.
counts, like photos of each job. You have to write a description. You put an age and how much it's worth. Like it forever. And you have to have a person that just sits there and there's data entry and it's costing you money, right? So what they did is you could again go and ask it for a prompt. And what you can do is again take a video of that room, and what it did is we took a video of the room and asked it, give us an itemized list of everything in this room. And within 10 minutes, gave me a list of everything that was on the video pretty accurately.
Mhm.
We went through, had to double check everything that was on the list. Great. Inventory list was done within an hour, which normally would have taken us days, done within an hour.
Wow.
Now, it not only does it give us an inventory list, Now it gave us a packing and material list. It said light density, heavy density, medium density boxes. This is how much you're going to need. This is how many packing materials. Expect this amount of time. So not only does it tell you before you go into the job what you're going to need, it also helps you manage your labor efficiencies, because if the guys are not adhering to what your report is saying, hey, there's an issue. There's an opportunity for more training. There's an opportunity for you to save money, or hey, these guys are taking advantage of the situation.
So it's helping you reduce wasted labor hours. And it also, in terms of like dispatch, like it's preventing under packing for certain jobs, right? Because sometimes you overpack for a job and those materials are just gone, right? So
Somehow, right?
yeah, somehow everything has a tendency to disappear, right? All right. Great conversation about that. First of all, man, I love that you connected with those folks, and I love that you found them through the podcast. That's really what the podcast is all about, right? I bring on people, not just in the restoration company, but vendors that really do a great job of supporting restoration entrepreneurs like yourself there. Now that we have a chance to talk about that, Raul, before I let you go, I want to talk about what's next, right? You seem like a guy that's really focused on growth over the next few years. So what are the next big things that you're looking to do as you kind of scale up the business?
I think for just, I think one of the most important things that I'm trying to learn is slow down to go fast. And we got introduced to floodlight, right? Connolly has absolutely been great with floodlight. So it's learning how to slow down and kind of put operational procedures in place in order for us to scale and go even faster kind of in the future, is taking a step back and putting those SOPs together.
Yes.
Hey, let's put those operational procedures together. Let's get everybody on the same page. Let's make sure that we have enough cash to when we start hitting those roadblocks in terms of growth or accelerated growth, that we're able to cover those areas. And then it's just, again, continuing with the same values that we started with, which is just deliver exceptional customer service experience, making sure that our customers and our team are well taken care of, and then the business will be okay. And so there's a lot of plans in the horizon. There's a lot of moving pieces, and then hopefully we can just stick to those values. And as I mentioned, we're going to be okay.
Based on the trajectory of the business in the first 3 years, I have no doubt we'll be having a very different conversation about where WonderBuilt is in a year from now, 5 years from now. Hopefully you haven't sold out to private equity by then. And
And man, if the right person comes with enough cash.
All right. Well, Raul, thanks again for joining us on the
I
Restoration
appreciate
Pros
you.
Unplugged podcast. If you like the conversation that we had with Raul today, and you like hearing from other restoration business owners or people that work in the restoration industry, we're back every week with an episode where we have these conversations. And if you feel like you got some value, man, make sure that you go out and follow us, subscribe, and if you're so inclined, leave us one of those 5-star reviews, because that just helps us find more people. So thank you again to Raul Gonzalez from WonderBuilt Restoration and Construction out in Tucson. Raul, I wish you all the best luck, and
Thank
congratulations
you.
on just all the success and really just embracing technology and really using it in the business.
Thank you very much. I
All right.
appreciate it.
We'll be back next week. Thanks again, Raul. Have a good one.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Restoration Pros Unplugged podcast. If you like what you heard today, be sure to subscribe, share, and also leave us a 5-star review. We'll be back with more interviews and discussions with restoration industry leaders really soon. In the meantime, if you're a restoration company looking to add more high-value water jobs, you can reach me and my team at waterrestorationmarketing.net. Again, that's waterrestorationmarketing.net. I look forward to hearing from you soon.